Louis, of course, the first home game of pre-season coming up tomorrow, and with that, the first time you'll have been back at home for a few months with fans in the ground and everything. So first off, just how much are you looking forward to getting back out in Gateshead in a game?
Yeah, really excited. Feels like forever since the cup final in last season. Obviously had our first game on Tuesday, that was away from home, so really looking forward to seeing the fans back at the GIS. Obviously after the last time we've seen them was at Wembley winning the trophy, so there's a real feel-good factor to get the guys back in and to kick-start this new season, which we're all relishing and looking forward to, where we can go next.
Yeah, and you mentioned Tuesday. I mean, going briefly back to that, of course, spoke with Rob after the game, and it seemed like a pretty positive night all round, scoreline wise, and in terms of getting lads first minutes back on the pitch of the season. But how were things from your point of view?
Yeah, it was really positive. It was obviously the first competitive fixture for the boys. We had just worked in-house the week before, so the benchmarks and the criteria that we were looking to get returns from a physical point of view, the guys nailing down some of our technical concepts and patterns, and then tactically we give the guys some challenges specifically for that game. We came out with flying colours. The result was great. To see the goals in the final product from the boys as well was an extra, but actually the workload in the 45 and the running afterwards put us in a real good stead, and the boys set the standards from the first game really high, which is really impressive from a coaching point of view, and we're looking forward to kicking that on.
Of course, Sunderland coming to the stadium tomorrow, so a different kind of test for you, with it being their first game of pre-season as well, of course, having South Shields earlier on in the day and then splitting their team with the game here as well. But how are you looking forward to that in comparison to the test you had on Tuesday, really? Yeah,
playing against a team of a higher level is always exciting. It's always a relished challenge. The fact that obviously they're playing, championship level at this moment in time, has an extra buzz about the game for us coaches and us players going ahead of the game tomorrow. I feel as if we made a real good account of ourselves last season, especially in possession. We played, our usual patterns, our concepts, and we tried to, control the game as much as we can with the ball up against a high level of opposition. So we're going to hope that is going to be the case again. We're aware, but also looking forward to the fact that it might be a little bit roles reverse, and the fact that on Tuesday we're full time and Heaven were part time, and the physical output for them probably would have been more difficult. So we're playing against top elite athletes who are operating at a higher level, and we know that there'll be an extra test physically. They'll put our in possession concepts and our out of possession structure to the test, but that's what we want at this moment in time. We've done a lot of work in detail on the pitch with the guys in-house with training, but the next bit is really challenging and pushing the boundaries on how we can execute them against the best opposition. So it's going to be a great game, great occasion, but probably most importantly it's going to be a real good learning day for everyone involved with the football club in preparation for the bigger challenge of the season upcoming.
Yeah, and you mentioned the learning aspect of the game tomorrow there. How much, you mentioned this with Rob after the game on Tuesday, how much emphasis at the moment are you putting on trying to drill those concepts and those patterns and the style that you want to play, especially into the newer boys who are kind of mixing in with the familiar faces at the minute?
Yeah, that's the main focus. We're process driven. We have roles and responsibilities for the individuals to hit, which is not linked to the outcome and to the scoreline, and that's how we will attack every game, and we'll attack this season to collectively as a group. So that starts from day dot in terms of the first pre-season friendlies, the first one at home. So what we always do is we always judge the guys on intention, not on the outcome of their actions. So when we say it's a good learning day, is because, like I said, we're going to push the guys to the boundaries in terms of the challenge, playing against stronger opposition on all them fronts, whether it's our play out, whether it's us trying to control possession as high up the pitch, creating goal scoring opportunities, the counter press, defending in a mid block, showing wide areas to set traps, to press, defending the box. All them different themes is going to be pushed to the test. So whether we get it right, will be obviously rewarding, and it'll be learning to show to the guys or to show ourselves what we're doing works. And if there's areas that we don't get right, we look at it, we get better, and we make it better the next day.
And going back to Tuesday a little bit, I think you were probably one of the only players who didn't really get a run out at the minute. Is that just a case that you're focusing a little more on the coaching side of things?
Yeah, just a fine balance of recovery from the foot from the end of last season. Just trying to get the right balance on that. Being involved in training, so just probably the game load wasn't appropriate at the time, but most importantly, making sure that the messages and the information that we give the boys is as clear as possible. So myself, Rob, and especially with having a few members of staff come into the building new in terms of Sweens and Jake, it was important that we put our front foot, our best foot forward, and make sure that the information is really clear. And the best for the group at that moment in time was for me to kind of lead a little bit more on the coaching side than the playing. So yeah, that was the kind of thought process behind that.
Yeah, and looking at the rest of the boys who were playing on Tuesday, how is everyone ahead of Saturday, of course, with it being, the first kind of match action they've had for a little while after the summer away?
Yeah, the majority of the group is got to this point unscathed. Ben Werman unfortunately took a little knock on his toe, which we're just going to balance the short and long term risk and reward of giving him some rest over some minutes. But there's nothing to be concerned about too much, and everyone else has been, topping up their load and getting, stronger and fitter as the days have gone on, and so they'll be fit and available for tomorrow.